just recently, Trump invited Masashani's son to Mar-a-Lago to extort him. In Trump's first term, he extorted him for $50 billion to force his companies to come to America. And then in the second term, he forced Masashani's son for another $100 billion. And then he dropped a bomb on him on stage, Trump did, and extorted him for another $100 billion. And so Trump extorted the first prime minister, and he's going to extort his new prime minister of Japan. It's what I call the economic humiliation era. The economic humiliation era. That Trump extorts our allies. And when it comes to Asia, America looks at it like the Asian colonies, economical colonies. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan. Trump looks at them like colonies, economical colonies, to be extorted. So this business banker got invited to Mar-a-Lago to be extorted on stage by Trump dropping a bomb on him at the last minute, extorting him for another additional $100 billion. Mr. Masashani's son, the former banker of Japan's bank, now he has a tech company. And so Trump, with his tariff wars, Trump is like the world last and Trump first. Trump is like an Alphonse Capone. He extort our allied nations with 100% tariffs. And if the merchants don't want nothing to happen to their businesses, they better pay up. Extortion protection rackets in order to avoid Trump's tariff wars. Masashani's son, since he's a banker, he'll probably, to get Trump not to bankrupt him in the United States, he'll probably be willing to pay protection kickback money to Trump's World Liberty Crypto. So this is what you call extortions. This is not the art of the deal. This is the art of the dildo. While Trump sodomizes Asia allies for tribute to his grandeur in the forms of threatening them with tariff stones, if you will, as a metaphor. Trump is tossing tariff stones into Masashani's son merchant window in the hopes that if he doesn't want it to happen in the future, he would pay Trump World Liberty a kickback protection rackets in order to ease up Trump on his companies. So Trump extorted him for $100 billion on stage in Mar-a-Lago as of today. Can you believe that? Can you believe the extortionist that Trump is? So I believe that when all our allies extradite Trump to stand trial for business extortion, for business racketeering, in order for Trump to enrich his World Liberty cryptos by extorting these merchants globally from our allied nations, I hope that these nations will hold Trump accountable for reparations. And there won't be no amount of bond companies that will be able to keep Trump out of jail, or at least pay for his criminal fines. Trump is trying to racketeer money to pay for his $500 million of New York fraud. Now, when Trump is extorting globally our allies unfairly, like the great Alphonse Capone, tossing merchant tariff rocks into their windows of corporations of sovereign allied nations, extorting them with the great humiliations. Can you imagine the reparations that they will seek upon Trump when they find out that Trump was forcing extortions of these companies to pay kickbacks to his World Liberty cryptos? Out of fear, these companies will create shell companies in order to launder crypto into Trump World Liberty, in order to get Trump to ease off of them. And Elon will use those blockchains and dilute the crypto through the dark webs of his supercomputers in order for Trump to pump and dump his World Liberty cryptos in up and down cycles, boom and bust cycles. Elon will dilute the blockchain in the dark web with his supercomputers and then launder it into blue chip companies. So Trump can step down of his second term as a robber baron, owning shares in corporations throughout the world. That's what Trump has set up in his second term. That's why he has geared with his art of the deal. I call it the art of the dildos because he's sodomizing our allies, definitely. You gotta understand, ever since America dropped two bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they've been humiliated economically as when it comes to America enslaving them as an economical colony. After World War II, they were humbled by MacArthur, General MacArthur, and so they've been our colonies ever since economically. We dropped two bombs on Japan to humiliate them. We divided the Koreas into two to make South Korea into our economical colonies. We funded the civil war in China to split off Taiwan. And so we tried to split off South Vietnam. We can colonize the Philippines. So Asia has always been America's, after World War II, America controlled Asia like slaves, sweatshops. And we enslaved those countries to be submissive to American capitalism. They always been submissive to America's capitalism after World War II. They've been humiliated and subverted as economical colonies. For the love of Wall Street, for the love of petrodollars, ever since Roosevelt, with the House of Saud, pegged America's currency to the energy supplies of and the commodity supplies of oil derivative products, America, as a world hegemonic power, has ruled over the world with impunity. So Asia is nothing but our sweatshops. You know? It used to be United Kingdom. When the sun never set on the United Kingdom, Asia was their sweatshops. Or their colonies, may I say. While when Britain was the kingdom of the world, before the settlers came to America and settled in Philadelphia and Delaware and created the first colonies, you know, when the United Kingdom was the biggest kingdom on earth, Asia was their sweatshops, their silken roads. Everything led back to the United Kingdom when kingdom ruled over the world, as far as Britain. But then, when the founding fathers abolished the taxation, the Tea Party, the founding fathers revolted against the monarchy of United Kingdom, and they started spreading out through the frontiers of the New World, and they eventually created the United States. So, Angloed, as though it is America, after World War II, Roosevelt pegged the dollar. Nixon removed the gold standard that gave us unlimited fiats, so we can, the sky is the limit when it comes to America reserve status of all nations, having reserves our currencies in order for them to buy gasoline and oil and have derivatives of products that depend on oil. You know, it all has to be done with American dollars, enslaving the world with Trump's 100% tariffs. So now, not only is Asia being raped and pillaged and plundered for thousands of years, as Angloed raped them in their regions. First it was Britain, and now is Washingtonian pagans, politicians, after World War II. You know, Washington took advantage of the sweatshop commodities, of the ruins of Japan, and the ruins of the Republic of China. America split it off with a civil war and created Taiwan in the hopes that when we pivot to Asia and the Quad members and the Four Eyes, when we topple Xi and China Republic Communist Party, we will pop up the Taiwanese to the mainland of China, and then America can control with impunity the 5 permanent members as puppet states. So America already has two puppet states, which is Britain and France. Britain is a shriveled up, bygone kingdom currently. They ain't worth shit compared to America's superpower. Neither is France in a position to argue with America as a monopolistical, hegemonic veto power of those 3 permanent members. So America wants to topple Putin to to pop up another Yeltsin in the hopes that Russia will be a puppet state for America. So then America will control 4 permanent members, and then with the Quad Eyes and the Four Eyes, which is the intel of America, Britain, and Australia and India. The Four Eyes are the intel. They call it Four Eyes, like eyeballs, like four eyes, because those nation intel agency is setting up a pivoting to Asia in order to cripple and invade and overthrow the Communist Party of China, in order that we can make the Taiwanese politicians take over the mainland, and for America to rule with impunity the world order for another 100 years, 200 years, by controlling the 5 permanent members with impunity as puppet states. So it's a mockery of one nation ruling over the world with impunity, and it has to come to an end. You know, the rest of the nations need to have their sovereignty adhered to and heard as sovereign nations. They all need to have their equal votes as United Nations. And America doesn't want to let that happen. America has its own greed, ambition, strategies that is only self-serving to Capitol Hill politicians on the world stage. And it's gluttony. It's pure gluttony and greed, and it's demonic, if you ask me. So I feel sorry for Asia. When the United Kingdom, when the sun never set on the United Kingdom of Britain, when the sun never set on the United Kingdom, Asia was enslaved by that kingdom to be humiliated and subverted for the love of Anglo colonies, economical colonies in Asia. And so that lasted for a long, long time in Asia. And then leading up to World War II, Kingdom of Britain was already shriveled up. When America emerged after World War II, America took over the world. And we took over Asia and colonized it economically. We bombarded Nagasaki, Hiroshima. We bend the Emperor of Japan to our will in humiliation, intentionally dropping 2 bombs on them just to humiliate them. We split off the Koreas in a civil war to start to create a colony called Taiwan, in the hopes that we will pivot to Asia, destroy the communists to install a puppet Taiwanese government in the mainland of China. Because America wants to control the 5 permanent members with impunity as submissive members of 5 permanent members. Like that, America can have a monopolistic power over the world order probably for, what, for 100, 200 years? The ambitions of Washingtonians that they think they can rule over the world into eternity will manifest destiny. And see, it's demonic, if you ask me, that belief that one nation with impunity governs the whole world with impunity as a hegemonic, demonic force, if you ask me. Because when you don't let the rest of the nations be sovereignly independent and sovereignly respected, and only one nation stands on the world stage as a dictatorial, hegemonic, impugned, or may I say unimpugned nation, one nation overall of the nations on earth, that's not democratic. That's called enslavement. That's called enslavement to the rest of the world's nations.